Dell, yours is here.
Not again.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
With GameFly, choose from over 6,000 titles. Play as long as you want and send them back when you're done. $8.95 to start. No late fees. Gamefly.com. Games delivered. Product shown rated E through M.
Parents and grandparents of young children. Have you received this special notice from Gerber Life? If not, you're urged to call this toll-free number now because Gerber Life is accepting applications for their affordable grow-up plan. It's easy to help your child get off to a good financial start for just pennies a day. Free information will be sent to parents and grandparents who call now. Or you can apply right now over the phone if you'd like. The Grow Up Plan gives your child $10,000 in whole life insurance protection now, then doubles automatically to $20,000 later at no extra cost. Later on, your child can buy more, up to $100,000 in total protection, regardless of their health or job, 10 times the original amount. The Grow Up Plan also builds cash value over time that you can borrow from later. Help give your child a head start for just pennies a day. Don't wait. Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-420.
Do not call that number. What up, everybody? It's your boy, the Infinite Dragon here, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching an archive stream. Be sure to check me out live. Link is always in the description down below. This was a link to my Discord, which I will let you know what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, all of that good stuff. If you're watching from the previous part, please hit the like button. You will forget to do so later. I'm serious. Please? For a favor? Where did we leave off last time? Last time, we totally did not have sex with Saber. It is the morning after. Have you seen the most wild, recent? The wild one for Tony Hawk game? Oh, the Tony Hawk commercial. Literally the first second of that advertisement was Larry King talking about teen pregnancy gone low. That's hilarious. I probably have seen it, but I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, come on. Thank you, Otis. Just get my notes. Okay. Did you check this out, channel? Gotcha. When I awake, the sun is already up. Actually, Boucher, you just gave me an idea. It'll be really annoying to do, but you just gave me an idea that I might do later. My room is dimly lit. I feel like it's still last night, but I quickly shake my head to banish the thought. The added darkness. I read they added darkness at first, and I was like, who's they? The added darkness seems to have gone a lot. It seems to have done a lot to help my sleep-deprived body get some actual rest. A glance at the clock tells me it's past 1 in the afternoon. I'm way past the point of oversleeping. Bro, fuck off.
Saber,
fucking morning people, am I right? There's no answer. Saber is still next to me, slightly curled and still asleep. Once I'm not sleepy anymore, I wake up, but Saber has to recover her magical energy. Considering how much she slept in the past, I doubt she'll wake up until the late afternoon. How about you just enjoy this one day of sleeping next to your not girlfriend, because she will not let you do this shit again. This was your this was your compromise, right? So you're gonna have to just enjoy the fact that you're sleeping next to her, because you're not getting it again. In fact, you might never see her again. I look at the comments of that commercial and someone literally said, can't confirm this works. No one has ever had sex with me while playing Tony Hawk. I leave my room without waking Saber. There's no reason to wake her, but there was a lot of reason to stay next to her while she was sleeping. The real danger is at night. There's no way Lancer or Gilgamesh will appear while the sun is still out. So we need to come up with a plan. I don't know about Lancer, but Gilgamesh will definitely show up tonight. Given his personality and the murderous look he gave us before he left yesterday, we can definitely expect him tonight. But what should we do? He has an infinite supply of noble phantasms, and one of them is stronger than Excalibur. Berserker was a hard enemy to defeat, but we still managed. We managed to find and exploit a chance to turn the tide against them. Basically what you did is that you made a copy of the true sword, but the copy in and of itself was still powerful enough to beat Berserker. I don't know what you did last time to beat Gilgamesh, but you're gonna have to do that again, except better. Not this guy. If he showed up now, it wouldn't even be a contest. One blow from that noble phantasm, and we're finished. There's not much time until the sun sets. If it's winter, it's probably set around 4 or 5. There won't be an end to this if I think on my own. If Saber, Tosaka, and I can't think of a plan, then... I'm still not convinced that the church isn't a part of this somehow. Of course, Gilgamesh will show about, what? He's nowhere he's going to break down that wall, say coolly man. Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. He's gonna break down the wall and go, oh yeah, and then demand another fight to the death. He's not gonna fight to the death, he's just gonna kill us. He might have a plan that could help us deal with the mess we're in. The King of Heroes, Gilgamesh. Actually, we should be talking to him anyway, because he said he'd have information for us. Kotomine said he would find some way to deal with the servant who survived the previous Holy Grail War. Even if he can't think of a countermeasure, Kotomine should have already thought of something. It would be a fight for the death, just not for him. I walk up the hill. I don't understand how we've gotten this far into the game, this far into the story, and this motherfucker still walks around without Saber at his side. Like, first off, you supposedly like her. Why wouldn't you just want to be with her all the time anyway? But like, the fact that you still, like, you know there's a chance. You literally almost died last night. You did die last night, but you're still walking around the scot-free like, nah, well, I don't care if it's fucking daylight. There's always a chance for someone or something else for some unexpected shit to happen. You need to be prepared. This motherfucker's just, dumbassery. The sky is blanketed with ash gray clouds. The church sits alone at the top of the hill. There's nobody there, and there's not a sound to be heard. Not even the birds chirping. Maybe that's because it's so gloomy out? The place looks more ominous than holy. You know, I always wondered, how come animals know when it's about to rain? Like, right before it's about to rain, everything gets real fucking quiet. How do animals know? See that stranger wearing the trench coat that can either be Lancer or Gilgamesh. Where's Saber to give you at least a fighting chance? Exactly. Come on, bro. It could also be a flasher, but like, you probably want some protection from that as well. I'm just saying. Looks like an execution site. I walk up the long hill and cross the wide open square, ready to be judged for my sins and cast down into hell. All right, dramatic. Besides, the church is a place where people die. Hospitals work to prolong a person's life, but plenty of people die there. Churches are like that too. In that sense, death hangs heavy over this place. Alright, man, just tell me you don't like Sunday school. Fuck. The wind's cold. I pull up my collar and climb the church's stairs.
Kotomine, 話があってきた.
I step into the chapel. Just like the square, there's nobody here.
Kotomine?
He might be in the back. I pass through the pews and walk towards the altar. A dry sound echoes through the chapel. The building is probably designed to make sounds echo, but the sound of my lonely footsteps is haunting this huge empty space.
Kotomine, いないのか?
I call softly to the priest. This is ridiculous. If I want to answer, I should be shouting. He's probably in the back, so he won't hear me unless I shout. But I don't. I keep quiet, tiptoeing my way to the back of the church. Am I doing this so I don't mess up the solemn air of the chapel? Or because I feel like if I'm spotted, I'll be surrounded by things I don't understand and then get beheaded for defiling God or something? If you felt that way, you should have brought Saber. I exit the chapel and head to the courtyard. I walk more quietly down the corridor. The church is like a labyrinth, and I don't know how to find Kotomine's room. My memory is kind of hazy, and I'm sure I won't be able to find it on my own. There's something... I slow my breathing. It's hard to breathe. My throat is parched. I don't know why, but beads of sweat begin forming on my forehead, though the corridor itself is chilly. I use all my senses to try to feel for my surroundings. I do so, but I'm not sure why. Why am I walking so quietly? Why is my heart beating so fast? Why do I have such a bad feeling about this place? Because I was right? We had that one information that was like, oh yeah, the fucking the server can remain after death, which means we know Kotomine was part of the previous fucking part of the recent Holy Grail War. That make sense. It's connected. Even if he can survive without Gilgamesh can survive without him. You gotta make it make sense. Two words repeat over and over in my mind. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Kotomina's not here, so you have no reason to stay. You're alone, you should go home. This is a mistake. It shouldn't be so cold. It's all wrong. Go back, go back, go back. Go back for your own sake. Go back. There's nothing bad happening here. There's nothing happening in this church, so go home. I feel nauseous. I think I might throw up. My intuition is always right about these kinds of things. If a church gives you that kind of feeling, shit had gotten real. Yes, it has gotten real, and I keep telling this motherfucker, well, I don't know why you walking around without Saber. I'm just saying. Every dude on the fucking planet will walk around with the bad bitch at his hip, but not him, not this guy. For an untrained mage, I have a pretty good danger sense, which is why my feet don't stop. I try to get my racing heart under control as I search for Kotomine's room. And then I run into a deep darkness. Okay, I didn't know that was more to that. I spot a set of stairs. In the deep shadows, I see a recess that I'd normally overlook. In it, I see a very, very narrow staircase. No, like, I'll just go to the basement, just be cute and quirky. I shouldn't go down. I can bet Kotomine won't be there. There won't be anyone down there. There's nothing down there. There won't be any core. There won't be any set. There won't be any I shouldn't go in there. My neck stiffens. I should. Well, I don't know about you, chat. Obviously, the thing that I from the beginning I've been saying we should not be here. We shouldn't have been here without Saber, and we are very obviously. I mean, as you can see from the color of my avatar, I'm black. We would just not be here. We would obviously go back home. So the first thing we should do is go down to the basement. I step into the darkness. Skedaddle, skadoodle. You never saw me in that basement. No, we need the content. We're not. Obviously, the first thing we should do is go down there. It's probably the correct thing to do too, according to the game. It's a room made of stone. The lights are out, but the room itself feels like it's alive, and a faint blue light suffuses the whole place. This looks like the museum in SMT. No, the diet building in SMT3, except blue. No dust or cobwebs anywhere. It looks like this place sees a lot of use. I'm not sure how far back it goes. We're gonna fight Mott, chat. I look back up the stairs I just came down. The staircase hugs a curved wall. After ascending the curved stairs, I look up and see the entrance is about 10 meters above me. Maybe it's the absence of light. But the gently curving staircase puts me in mind of a centipede crawling its way through the cathedral. Oh no, protag, look out, his sarcophagus has just flipped you off and his name's Mott. And then I notice a door. It's right at the bottom of the stairs. There's a symbol on the wall. Beyond it, a deep darkness beckons me. Almost as if it were drawing me in, I find myself stepping into the darkness. I step through what seems like an entrance of some kind. It's... damn, that's a lot. You just stepped in a body. You just stepped in someone's blood. The floor is all slimy and it's hard to walk. If it's sticky, that's 100% blood. It reminds me of when I was cleaning the school pool. Moss covers the entire floor, and it feels like my feet are sinking to the ankles in some kind of rot covering the floor. Bodies! I stop suddenly. The nasty sensation beneath my feet is bad enough, but now there's a horrible stench. Bodies! I pinch my nose shut. This is some temporary odor. It's being permeated through the whole room. It doesn't smell like fish or gunpowder. It smells like formaldehyde. Ooh! The chemical reek of it has stagnated the room like a thick mud. My senses seem to have numbed from the moment I got into the basement. I'm long past the tension and nervousness. And yet, my heart expands and contracts without a break and my limbs are moving so weirdly, it feels like I might wrench out every nerve in my body. And what's worse, my eyes have grown accustomed to the darkness. The darkness fades. I hear drops of water falling. It's almost like that. Wow, dyslexia. It's almost like that serves as the starting bell. What I couldn't see before is suddenly clear. What I see is an all too familiar living hell. Death lined up all in a row. Debris is piled everywhere. A stench of death covered by antiseptics. I thought this was all... Reading! I thought this was all a lie. I want to believe none of this is real. But I can't deceive myself. I can tell in an instant. Even in a room full of corpses, not one of these bodies here is truly dead. Ooh! They're all alive. These corpses, they can only be called corpses, however human they once were, are still alive. Why are they still alive? How are they still alive? I look over each and every body. Not one of them has retained their original form. I would like you to stop that. That's kind of hurting my ears. Imagine what happened to every one of these sacrilegious forms. Imagining forms is just too terrifying. They're more like husks of the dead trees than corpses. Some have broken down to the point where their flesh has seeped into the cracks of the stone pavement. Either this kid has some balls or the IQ of a brick to keep going forward. Some are hung against the wall and are a little more than nests for bugs. Whatever their arrangement, these figures have only torsos and heads, and even those are pitifully ragged. So I'm having a hard time. You're using text-to-speech, aren't you? I kind of figured it out. I don't even need to know why. The corpses are being eaten alive in their coffins. I don't know how it works. Each corpse is welded into a coffin, and the coffin sucks the nutrients out from them. The flow of life. The coffin is extracting magical energy. Souls. Yeah, I told you. Kotomine is part of fucking Gilgamesh being here. Which means actually that we probably should have came down here, because that way, this is how we know where Gilgamesh is getting his power from. Because if this is self-sustaining, he's getting his energy from here. Little by little, the coffin sucks the life out of its prey in such a precise amount that it neither kills nor allows them to truly live. The wind moans through the chamber. It's almost like a single scream from the mouths of every corpse here. Their throats have long since decayed, so they can't scream for themselves anymore. By now, their throats only barely serve to carry air to their lungs. But still, the corpses scream. All but notable, they scream. They must be in terrible They must be in terrible pain, and so very afraid. They continue to shriek, unable to accept that their bodies are being eaten alive as they gradually lose their shape. I can't read that. I hear a creaking sound, and the coffin in front of me gurgles. It's oozing. The corpse's head is turned towards me. Something falls out of it. Its swollen lips move slightly. In a voice that isn't a voice, it asks, "Where am I?" That's what it wants to know. I'm about to scream. No, I can't even scream anymore. Where am I? I didn't say it was in pain. He didn't say it was in pain. He didn't ask for help. Just wanted to know what this horrible place is. I'm trying to understand. Did that child find themselves in this state when they came to? Before this, they must have lived a normal life, slept normally, but one day they woke up and found themselves here. That also explains the random weird-ass attacks at the beginning of the game, where people were just getting fucking fucked up for no reason. If you guys remember that, if they got fucked up and took the people from there, and put them here, and was using them as harvesting, that makes sense. The question must have come from that hope that this is all just a bad dream. Being trapped in a coffin, unable to move, their limbs rotting. My heart's breaking. This is so unimaginably horrible. But why? Why do they seem so strangely familiar? I've never seen any of them, but I recognize every one of the corpses. This is my first time here. I shouldn't know any of them. Are these the people from the previous Holy Grail War? None of them are connected to me, so why? Why do they act like they know me? Just like how I know them. Why are they staring at me? And I have another question. Each of them shares something in common, unless it was just a coincidence. Why do all of these corpses look like children of the same age? And then... It comes out of nowhere. A hand clasps my shoulder from behind. The voice is friendly, like a greeting from a close friend. I go completely stiff with shock. I can't even turn around. Only, I don't have to turn to see who's behind me. Kire Kotomine. This church's priest, the man responsible for this little piece of hell. And the devil, the last person I should have run into right now.
全く間が悪い。そろそろお前が来る頃だと思ってな。食事の準備をしに行ったのがまずかった。そうだ。前回はろくなもてなしができなかっただろう。私なりに気を使ったのだが、入れ違いになってしまったか。
I can't say anything. The priest's hands rest heavily on my shoulders.
だが、不法侵入は感心しないな。そのようなことをすると、見なければいいものを見てしまう羽目になる。例えば、そう、お互いの関係を白紙に戻さざるを得ない真実を知ってしまうとか。
The priest sounds more cheerful than I've ever heard. As Kotomine stands behind me, hands on my shoulders, I can tell he's smiling. It's indescribably terrifying.
どうしたエミヤシロ。話をしに来たのだろう。黙っていては意味がないぞ。拍子抜けだな。それほどこの光景は機械かね。
He sounds so cheerful, even when he's saying such horrible things. Does this man not feel anything in the face of this horror? No. Do I even need to comment on how horrible this is?
なんだ。それは冷たいな。お前にとっては不快でも、そんなことはないと言ってやるのが情けだろう。そもそも、彼らとお前は兄弟のようなものだ。お前がそのような態度では、彼らも救われないと思うのだが。
What did he just say? So happily?
お前、今、なんて。
この死体たちとお前は仲間だったと言ったのだ。形はどうあれ、お前たちはあの地獄から生還した者たちだ。血肉のつながりはなくとも、その絆は兄弟のそれに近いと思うのだが、どうかな。
So that's why I thought I recognized them. This is a continuation of what happened 10 years ago. I'm back in that hospital room. My head is spinning. Children have lost their homes and parents. They were sent to an orphanage until they were adopted. Or that happened to me. Kiritsugu and Miya adopted me, so I never knew about what happened to those kids afterwards. I actually avoided finding out. The orphanage was at the church on top of the hill, and I could have gone there any time if I'd wanted to. But I held back. I felt it wasn't fair for me, who did get adopted, to go visit the children who still hadn't been. That's why I decided that if I were to meet them, you would have to be in town. We would just bump into each other, chat idly to catch up, and most importantly, have gotten over the fire in hell. As small as our town is, I always dreamed of a reunion like that, but it never happened.
そうだ、エミヤシロ。エミヤ・キリツユに引き取られていなければ、お前も彼らの一員となっていた。わかるか？お前はまたも一人だけで助かったのだ。周りの誰もが平等に死んでいくというのに、お前だけが輪を乱して生き延びた。どうかね。自分自身大した不平等だとは思わないか？
My heart starts beating again. I've been frozen stiff until a moment ago, but suddenly I'm able to move.
いや、私は責めているわけではないぞ。むしろお前のそれは喜ばしい。エミやシローの生き延びる才能は大したものだ。実際、私もお前が最後まで残るとは思ってもいなかった。だからこそ、最後はこうして兄弟たちに再会させてやったのだ。お前は本当に運がいい。ここは今日限りで閉める予定だったのだが、ギリギリで間に合ったな。今まで10年間、サーバントの餌にするために彼らを生かし続けたが、それも終わりだ。やり始めた時ほどの濃い魂の摘出は望めぬし、もはや餌の必要もない。あとはお前とお前のサーバントを仕留めるだけになったのだからな。
てめえ
Those words shadow the restraints that have been holding me still. I move my paralyzed body, chin clear of the hands on my shoulder, and leap forward and whirl around to face the priest.
コトミネ、お前が
As I face him, I put distance between us. In that moment, I feel a powerful impact from behind. That's weird. I can't breathe. Something sharp protrudes from my chest. It looks like the head of a spear. That can't be. How can a spear be growing out of my chest? Oh, that means every time. Okay, this is even more fucked up because now I'm putting it together. That every time he said, hey, if you come to the church, we'll protect you. Every time he said that, what he actually meant is that we're going to put you in one of these fucking boxes.
Ah, そういえば言っていなかったな。改めて紹介しよう。彼が私のサーバントだ。
I turn around. There. Lancer? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect it to be Lancer. I see a blue-colored spearman, his weapon thrust through my chest. He jerks it free. At the same time, a searing, intense pain rocks my entire body. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect it to be Lancer. That's the twist here for me, because I was for sure it was Gilgamesh. Red splatters to the floor. I collapse onto a slimy, mossy ground. I try to push myself to my feet, but my body's too heavy. I can't move. While I may not be paralyzed anymore, my body isn't capable of moving for an entirely different reason now. The pain in my chest is unbelievable, blotting out the blood loss and dimming vision. I can't pass out. I've sustained fatal wounds numerous times. They were all bad. They all numbed my senses. But this is different. It's a fatal wound for sure, but the pain is just too intense. I told you! I don't understand why this motherfucker thinks he can walk around without Saber. I just don't get it. Wouldn't have been me. Wouldn't have been me. You wouldn't have caught me in a situation like this. I know we literally chose for him to go down here, but like, this means that there's a reality in which he did go down these stairs and he fucking died. My vision distorts. The instant I pass out from pain, the pain jolts me back awake. I can't feel my limbs. I can't even tell where I am anymore. The only thing I feel are vomit-inducing pain and the temptation to just disappear to escape this agony.
殺してはいないだろうな、ランサー。それでは今まで残していた甲斐がない。
I only hear voices. My eyes are open, but I can't see anything.
命令は守るさ。たとえそれがいけすかねえものでもな。
Lancer's voice is devoid of emotion, but I can barely hear him.
よろしい。では支度をするぞ、ランサー。マスターの窮地はサーバントに伝わる。セーバーが到着するまでおよそ半時というところか。
琴峰、このガキそこまでは持たねえよ。死なせたくねえんなら血止めぐらいはしとけ。
不要だ。死ぬのならそれで構わん。
My mind is fading. Pain finally becomes too much and my mind lets me faint. I stop the pain by digging into my wound. The pain resumes. I'm on the verge of sinking into oblivion, only to be dragged into a world of searing pain. I want to die. Chat, it's muffin time. If the pain isn't going to stop, I want to die right now. I know that. I know, but if I faint here, I know I'm never gonna wake up. I can't even remember what I'm doing. I feel like I'm just drifting through white-hot pain that will burn me into nothing. I grit my teeth, trying to endure the pain and trying to cling to my own fading awareness. I can't end it all here. I can't let myself drop out of this war so easily. There's still a promise I haven't fulfilled yet. If I believe she's the most important person in my world, I can't just disappear here. Did he just die? Yeah. Oh no, he didn't. I thought that was that. If this is an interlude and not a dead end, that means this was going down the stairs was actually the correct thing to do, and I hate that for him. Then he died at the end. That's what should have happened. When she awakes, there's no sign of Shiro. She makes her way to the living room thinking he might be preparing a late lunch, but she finds no sign of either Shiro or lunch.
また一人で出歩いて。出かけるのなら声をかけてと言ったのに、どうしてシロは人の話を聞かないのか。
Because he knows he's the protagonist and keeps doing the protag buff. He knows he has plot armor. That's why he keeps doing it. Saber sits on the veranda, muttering to herself.
まったく。一人で出歩くのが好きなのはわかりますが、これでは協力している意味がないではありませんか。
Saber lets her feet dangle over the veranda. Eventually, she grows tired of this, and she looks up pensively. The sky is an ashen gray. A heavy canopy of clouds slowly drifts overhead. She can see breaks in the clouds. What? She can see breaks in the cloud covering in the distance. It should clear up by nightfall. If the stars are visible, she'll be able to read her fortune for tomorrow. Can she, is that a thing that she can do? Does she know how to fortune tell with stars? She still remembers how to read stars. Her mage mentor taught her long ago. In life, she only looked there to see whether she was taking the right path, but tonight, just this once, she decides to predict a certain someone's future. She yells at the stars to tell her something. Yeah, it's just Saber standing in the fucking courtyard screaming into the air. If possible, she hopes for a bright tomorrow. Nah, bro, not with our dumbass protagonist. You know, I always am okay until I literally start the stream and then something happens in terms of my allergies. Like, I cannot breathe at this exact second. Give me 1 second to, you know, fix that. Right tomorrow with our dude, or I don't think so. You might have to mighty nice looking hospital bill. Yeah, right, seriously. You just have a nice dinner with a hospital bill. She wants to predict any dangers that might lie ahead and learn what she needs to guide him in the proper direction. He's so reckless. How could she not worry about him? She won't sleep peacefully unless she can at least read the stars.
さて、問題はこの町から観測できる星の位置ですが。
I guess that is a problem depending on where you are in the world. As she thinks back, she realizes she not once looked up at the sky before today. Her priority has always been winning the Holy Grail War, not reading fortunes in the sky. Stars, read it! She knows this isn't like her. Even so, she still considers trying to read the stars and anxiously waits for the night to come. This represents quite a change in her change of heart for her. Oh shit, she played Persona 5. She chuckles, thinking she's just like the girls in love she read about in books before, as she looks up at the sky.
Oh, Saber. Shiroがどこに行ったか知らない？リン。
Saber bolts upright.
なんでしょう。私は別にシロの軍門に下ったわけではありませんが。
That's an amazing amount of self-snitching. And she did the tsundere thing. Saber gives a hasty excuse, blushing deeply.
あれ？もしかしてお邪魔だった？
I love Rin so much. Rin smiles wickedly. Perhaps because they have been living under the same roof, but Rin can read Saber like a book. Hero too, for that matter. She has good instincts when it comes to other people's affairs, and she can tell there's something between the two of them. And so, she has a pretty clear idea of what's happening, of what happened the night before.
まあ、からかうのは後にしておいて、冗談抜きでシロを知らない？イリアの熱が上がってるみたいだから、ちょっと手伝ってもらおうと思ったんだけど。
Damn, she hit a fever?
イリアスピールが。彼女の容体は落ち着いたのではないのですか？ それがどうにもね。シローには黙ってたけど、あの子そろそろ限界よ。聖杯戦争っていう儀式が終わらない限り元には戻らない。今はまだかろうじて容量が空いているから余分な機能が働いている。けど満ちてしまえば一番不要な人間としての機能を捨てるしかない。イリアスフィールはね、聖杯戦争が進めば進むほど壊れていくように作られているのよ。
What? Rin's words are ominous and even a bit obfuscate. I know how to pronounce the word, but for the sake of me getting through it. Obfuscating. Saber doesn't completely understand what she's talking about.
ああ、いいのよ。今のはわからないように言ったんだから。イリアのことは置いておきましょう。それよりランサーのことだけどね。あいつのマスター誰だか分かったんだけど。
ランサーのマスターが判明したのですか？
We did as well, the hard way.
まあ分かったっていうか、前から分かってたっていうか。
It's basically she had a feeling, but she never had confirmation.
実はね、ランサーのマスターは魔術協会から派遣された外来のマスターなのよ。それ自体はとっくに分かってて、ついさっきそいつのねぐらを見つけてきたんだけど。
リン、そのような危険なことは避けるべきです。敵の陣地が分かったのなら私に言ってくれればいい。
私だってそのつもりだったわよ。けどさ、外から様子を探ってたらどうもおかしいのよ。で、留守っぽいなって中に入ってみたら、あったのは血の跡とレイジュが亡くなった左腕だった。それ以外は何もなかった。体ごとレイジュを奪われ、しかもあの出血量じゃ生存は絶望的でしょうね。ランサーのマスターはとっくにやられてたのよ。
No. Either a plot is twisting right now or she's just wrong. But the game wouldn't go out of its way to give us like wrong information after telling us something completely different. So the plot is twisting right now. Which means the Lancer that we currently have is wait, is fucking Gilgamesh cosplaying as Lancer? Is that what's going on right now?
ではランサーはすでにいないのですか？10日前シロを襲った後に他のサーバントに倒されたと。
だったらいいんだけどね。結婚はもっと前のものだった。これどういうことかわかる
？There are multiple variations of one person. I mean, I'm sure there are multiple variations. I'm sure you're referring to there's multiple variations of servants, which yeah, we knew. Like the archer that we saw before, Gilgamesh is an archer of the previous Holy Grail War, and Tosaka had archer before, so yeah.
サーバントを倒さず先にマスターを倒した。そうしてマスターからレイジュを奪いランサーと契約したマスターがいるということですか？ですが
The only person we know who can do that is Kotomine.
残っているマスターは私とシロだけでしょ。けどランサーはまだ残っているってことは、マスターじゃない魔術師がレイジを奪ってマスターになっているってことだけど、セイバー、そういうのってできるものなの
？Actually, if we didn't get that bad end earlier where I decided to not fight in the Holy Grail War, we wouldn't even know that. So there's no way they have this information.
いいえ、レイジの移植はマスターかサーバント、そのどちらかによるものだけです。いかに優れた魔術師といえど、レイジを奪ったところでマスターにはなれません。
そう。じゃあもう一つ。マスターっていうのはさ、聖杯が消えてなくなってもレイジュが残っていて、かつサーバントさえ残っていればいつまでもマスターなの？
そうですね。リンの言う通りです。レイジュとサーバントさえ残っていれば、聖杯戦争が終わったとしても、その魔術師はマスターとしての権利を。
Which means okay, so now he has, does that technically mean he has two servants, or that Gilgamesh is self-sustaining, and so he just made himself a master of Lancer, which I guess makes sense. Yeah, sure, whatever. Saber falls silent as she realizes what Bryn's really asking.
では、リンはランサーのマスターを殺し、ランサーと再契約したのはその。
ええ、それ以外ないと思う。そう思うとランサーの行動にも納得がいくのよ。あいつさ、他のサーバントの様子を探るのが役割みたいだったじゃない。戦えば自分の正体を明かしてしまうっていうのに、あいつは自分の正体を隠すでもなく他のサーバントにちょっかい出してた。それってつまりあいつは諜報専門だったってことでしょ。
同感です。私と戦った時も彼は最後まで戦わなかった。宝具を使った以上、見せた相手は倒すのが私たちの定石だというのに。
そうだからランサーのマスターにはもう一人サーバントがいたのよ。ランサーに敵の正体を探らせておいて、その後に正体不明の戦闘性用のサーバントをぶつける。これって必勝法でしょ。まあランサーにしてみればいい迷惑だったろうけど、6人のサーバント全員と戦ってその手口を調べ上げた上で主の元に帰るんだもの。6人全てと引き分けなんてある意味とんでもないやつよね、あいつ。
Ren closes her mouth, lost in thought. As if following Ren, Saber suddenly feels a chill down her spine. Lance's master has already been killed. This unidentified master uses a heroic spirit as strong as Lancer's solely for espionage. And just as that master seems to have expected, the only remaining servants are Lancer and Saber. If they face such a powerful enemy, then letting Shiro out on his own is dangerous even during the day. There were multiple enemies before, but now there are not many more enemies to defeat. If Shiro was the only one left to defeat, the enemy might not follow their earlier strategy.
リン、シロはどこに行ったのか知りませんか?
Now that she's had the thought, she can't stop worrying. Shiro cannot be left alone. Even now, her master may be in grave danger. Oh, he's already mostly dead.
どうだろう。知らないから聞いたんだけど、もしかしたら綺麗なとこかな。あいつ、この間も綺麗なんかに相談しに行ったんだし。
あの教会に？
何をセイバー、怖い顔して。コトミネ教会に含むところでもあるの？
いえ、そういうわけではないのですが。
That church is nothing but holy. Stagnant death and stagnant air linger in that place on par with the Rito Temple. The moment she thinks Shiro might be in a place like that alone, an image of somewhere other than Amiya's house flashes through her mind. She stares into the distance, toward Kotomine's church on the top of the hill. There's no time to delay. Saber leaps out into the yard and jumps onto the wall.
ちょっとセイバー、いきなり何よ。
教会に向かいます。後のことは任せました、リン。
Without looking back at Ren, Saber jumps off the wall. She moves with all the speed of a bullet fired from a gun. She neither slows nor stops on her way to her destination. If anyone caught sight of her, she would look like nothing more than a gust of wind. A streak of silver and blue. The instant she reaches the top of the hill and catches sight of the enemy's territory, Saber armors herself. And arms herself without a second thought. She's decided to put on her armor once inside the church, but she couldn't help herself. The instant the church comes into view, her fury overtakes her, and she's armed and armored without even truly thinking about it. I'm surprised she didn't suit up before then. Like on the way, that's what I would've did. Her chest burns. The nausea she's been feeling isn't her own. The chill running down her spine is coming from her master. The hopeless scent of death reaches her nostrils. All right, so I'm assuming this is the moment where Shiro just got stabbed by Lancer. While this is happening, she isn't sure. What she does know is that Shiro Emi is on the verge of death. There's no time to waste. He's gravely injured and could die at any second. The pain and cold have morphed into an unbearable nausea that grips her whole body. And that is less than a thousandth of the pain Shiro feels. He's not gonna make it. Even though she moves with godlike speed, he won't survive. Every second bringing him closer to death, and she may arrive just in time to watch her master die. As soon as she imagines that scene, she feels a sense of reason to flee. What? She feels all sense of reason flee her. And all she can do is run to her master as fast as she can. If godlike speed will not bring him here in time, then she must simply break even the laws of God. She struggles to control her anger as she glares at the church. The tightly shut church doors offer no obstacle to her, simply blown wide open with the force of her approach. Rows of pews fail to even slow her down. She smashes through the church, passes through the courtyard, and rushes down the stairs leading to the basement. Behind her, the church is left in ruins. Saber is not usually so violent. For all she knows, she opened the door calmly, and she may not even remember expending so much magical energy to run through town. She simply could not control herself. So fast and out of control that she practically rolls down the stairs. Death closes in on all sides. When she finally sees what horrors the basement holds, her fury overwhelms her. Fury directed at herself and at the enemy responsible for this. She doesn't even hear Lancer's voice as he bars her path. All hope of control or restraint is gone. However much she might try, she can no longer control her strength. Her lord is somewhere in the darkness, in the back room. He's lying there face down at the center of the room. He's lying there face down at the center of a room peopled by living corpses. I have never seen the word peopled used like that. A pool of blood spreads out beneath him, and the sounds of his frantic breathing echo all the way to the sanctuary. He's alive. Relieved though she is, she shudders to think how long she'd left him alone.
Shiro.
Saber enters the back room, but a guard blocks her way. Holding his long spear behind him, the blue spearman meets Saber's gaze fearlessly. She doesn't hear him, so she doesn't stop. His ability to insult Saber while parrying her attack is frankly impressive. Lancer manages to block Saber's surprise attack with his spear, but he can do nothing about the sheer strength behind it and retreats back to the nearby wall. There is nothing in Saber's way now. She doesn't have time to deal with Lancer. Her master is on the verge of death and she has to save him. Saber stops as she heads to the back.
それはどういう意味ですか、ランサー。
いや、何な。そいつの胸を串刺しにしたのは俺なんだが、実はこれは2度目でね。以前は確かに殺したってのに生きてやがったもんだからな。今回は念を入れ。
シローにゲイボルクを使ったのか。
Oh, he got hit in the heart. Got it.
安心しろ。心臓は外してやった。だが呪いはそのままだぞ。
Doesn't Gaybog always aim for the heart though?
セイバー、貴様とてこの槍の呪いは知っていよう。因果を逆転させる原因の槍。こいつの呪いを受けた者は、よっぽどの幸運がない限り、運命を変えられない。まあ、単純に言ってしまえば、ゲイボルクによってつけられた傷は癒されることはない。呪いを受けた者は決して回復できず、死に至るまで傷を背負うことになる。この世に、この槍がある限りな。
At that moment, the air changes. A flicker of intelligence and reason lights in Saber's eyes. You wanted to screw him over? Wanted him to suffer, I guess?
ようやく理解できたか。そこの坊主を助けたいんだろう？ならまず、 俺との決着をつけなくちゃな。
Lancer's bestial bloodlust drives him forward into Saber's reach. He's deadly serious, but
正気ですか、ランサー。この狭い室内で僧兵であるあなたが剣士である私と戦うと、そのような愚行、あなたの考えとは思えない。
I guess his eyes letting him take the curse is better than offing him. No, this is a trap. We're being trapped right now. They stabbed us, but their intent was always to stab us and put us in here. So this is a trap.
今ならば見逃します。その槍を置いて去りなさい。このような不本意な戦いで、あなたの首を取る気はない。
それこそ愚行じゃねえのか？一体どこの英霊が自分の相棒を置いてくってんだよ。俺は何も取引をするためにそいつを刺したわけじゃない。俺はな、お前と殺し合いをするためにここにいる。
That's not what he said. He said, I'm here to kill you. He's not lying. Lancer has no intention of letting either of them leave alive. For him, this is the first and only battle where he can truly go all out. Lancer's wish is not for the Holy Grail. His wish is to fight a battle worthy of heroes. Such a simple wish, only one any servant should have always granted, and he's been denied that and has been denied to him. So he has no intention of missing what may be his final chance, even if the situation appears to be unfavorable.
いいでしょう。ならばその槍を見事叩き切って捨てるだけだ。
Saber readies her invisible air and faces the Blue Knight.
よく言った。白状するとな。貴様が最後に残ってくれて嬉しいぜ、セイバ
ー! Lancer's spear pulses with light. Saber confronts him without hesitation. The rematch begins with a desperate blow from both sides. Hold on. Sorry, getting the timestamp down. It hurts. The sound of my rapid breathing fills my ears. My fever is so hot, it burned anyone who touched me. It feels like my brain is melting and oozing out of my skull. Stop. It's like everything has melted away, but every nerve in my body still screams with agony. Help. My mind's burned out. There's a hole in my heart and a void in my stomach. I want to vomit, but there's nothing left in me. The twisted feeling of nausea only grows stronger from my inability to vomit. All I can do is bite down on the pain. Somehow, in spite of all of it, I still cling to consciousness. Pain is an old friend. I know how to endure it. Go back. But the voices don't stop. They fill every corner of the emptiness left in me after the pain has burned everything else out. I know who those voices belong to. It hurts. I'm going mad. With each echo, a stabbing pain shoots through my chest. I'm not afraid. I just have no answer. No way to respond. No way to make it right. Wait. They beg and plead and cry, but there's nothing I can do. I so desperately want to help, but I can't. I can't even ask them to stop. No matter how much they beg, I can't respond. I'm sure I really will go mad if this doesn't stop. Return. They repeat it again and again and again, and I can't do anything about it. All I can do is give them an end. All I can do is fix this paradox of life and death. All I can do is punish the architect of this hell. And I can't reverse all the sadness and death. That's my limit. A champion of justice is someone who can only clean up a mess that's already been made. You'll never be able to save the very people you're hoping to save. Who said that again? I refuse to believe it, but now I'm being confronted with the very truth. I want to get out of here. I can't save them. I can't do anything but take it in. I have nothing to give back, no miracle to grant. I'm not strong enough to defy those words words saying that a champion of justice can only go so far. But if I did have a miracle at the ready, would I...
来たか。そら、目を覚ませエミヤシロ。お前のサーバントがやってきたぞ。
I hear a voice. It's right behind me, but I can't make out what it's saying. My vision is blurry. I can't make out what's in front of me either. There are only the voices crying out for help. There's only a room choked with the bodies of those who died.
よくやっているが、やはりセーバーにはかなわぬか。どちらにせよ、あと一人分のサーバントは必要なのだ。それがセーバーであろうとランサーであろうと構わないのだが、その前に選定をしなくてはなるまい。
I can't hear the words, but his voice echoes in my head.
さて、出番だ。もう少し前に行こうか、エミヤシロ。
Something pulls my head upward. He grabs me by the back of the head and drags me forward. I can feel who it is now. This man has been consumed by the darkness. His heart is ashen. He's draped in shadow. This corruption creeps into him, and it has tethered itself to him. I don't know what has happened. But I do know this man, Kirie Kotomine, he's like me. Kirie. I keep saying Kirie. He's suffered a fatal wound, but somehow still remains in this world. As Saber's powers let me regenerate, Kirie Kotomine preserves his body with this darkness.
そこまでだ、セイバー。斧が主を救いたいのならば、その剣を収めるがいい。
What's going on? Still can't make out what's going on. I can't even lift my own head.
ランサーも引け。もともと私たちは聖杯を求める同志ではないか。そうむやみに殺し合いなどするものではないぞ。セイバーがこの男を引き取りに来ただけというのならば、喜んで引き渡そう。
He laughs ominously.
それを信じろというのですか。ランサーのマスターを殺し、今また私のマスターをその手にかけようとする貴様の言葉を信じろと。
Who is that? I can't tell, but the sound of a tuning bell. What? I can't tell, but like the sound of a tuning bell, the voice helps me refocus my mind.
信じたまえ。私はお前たちと争う気はない。季節してこのような形になってしまったが、お前たちが聖杯を取ろうというのなら邪魔はしない。もとより、私の役割は聖杯の持ち主を見極めることだ。ここまで残ったお前たちには十分すぎるほど資格がある。故に望むのならば今ここで聖杯を与えてやってもよいのだが。
ここに聖杯があるというのか、貴様は。
あるとも。聖杯はどこにでもある。聖杯とはもとより形のない器だ。いつどこで何に呼び出すかによって完成度が変わるのだが、呼び出すだけならこの土地にも資格はある。無論 サーバントが残り一人にならなければ聖杯は未完成だが、その出来でも大抵の願いは叶えられるだろう。それで満足がいかぬのならば、その時こそ最後の殺し合いを始めればよい。いや、私としては気乗りがしないが、お前たちが望むのならば付き合おう。決着をつけるのはその時でいいのではないかな、ランサー。
よくはね、そんな回りくどいことをする必要はない。白黒つけるなら今すぐできるだろう。
この状況でか。室内ではお前には不利だろうし、セイバーとて主が気になって戦えまい。これではお前にとって満足のいく戦いとは言えない
が。Someone spits. The other man must have given in.
いいさ。なら一つ聞かせろ。聖杯ってのは何だ？あれは残り一人にならなければ現れないものじゃなかったのか。俺たちを呼んだ連中は初めからペテンにかけてたってことか。
いや、事実ではある。聖杯はサーバントが残り一人にならなければ現れない。だが聖杯を下ろす器は別だ。あれは初めから形あるものとして用意され、聖杯召喚の時まで力を流し込まれていく。残るサーバントがあと2人だけという状況ならば、すでに聖杯としての力を持ち始めていよう。そうであろう、セイバー。お前とて前回最後まで残ったサーバントだ。アインツベルンの用意した聖杯がどんなものか、うすうす分かっているのではないか。そう、聖杯は常にここにあり、生贄の血で満つる時を待つ。だがそれは虚しいとは思わないか。何も残り一人になるまで付き合うことはない。お前たちの望みを叶えるだけならば、今の状態でも可能だろう。ならばここで意味のない摂取をすることもあるまい。
そうですね。確かに貴様の言い分は正しい。
This is a terrible time. I really gotta pee. My bad. My bad. I'm back. I'm back. Alright, you guys can say. My bad. Okay.
だとしたら貴様は何者だ？貴様の目的は
Thank you.
聖杯を手に入れることではないのか？
私は
Everything good? I just had to
だと
pee.
言っただろう。ふさわしい人間がいるのならば、喜んで聖杯は譲る。そのためにまずはお前の言葉を聞きたいのだ、エミヤシロ。
I'm moving. Someone grabs my head and jerks me up. It hurts. The wound on my chest rips open. The world goes white with pain.
貴様！
案ずるな。ただ返事を聞くだけだ。聖杯は求めるものにのみ応える。己のマスターが聖杯にふさわしいかどうか、お前とて興味はあろう。
それは無駄だ。シローは聖杯を欲しがらない。私のマスターはお前のようなゲスではない。
ああ、この男は初めからそう言っていたな。だがそれは本心ではあるまい。あらゆる人間に闇があるよう、この男にも影はある。例えばそう、10年前のあの日、この少年は本当に何も恨まなかったのか。その先にあったものを忘れることで振り払っているのではないか。
No, wait. What the hell is he talking about? The fire 10 years ago has nothing to do with this. This is meaningless. There's nothing here.
その傷を切開する。さあ、懺悔の時だ。エミヤシロ。
My body buckles. Pain shoots through my spine like lightning. In its wake, I feel my mind separating from my body. My vision goes red. Stop. 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 Stop, stop, stop. Stop. I'm not reading all this. There's nothing here. Remembering this saves no one. Everyone died. All of them. I was the only one left, lost amidst the flames. Ashen corpses beneath smoldering rubble crying out from every direction. It hurts. I alone continued on. I needed help. I needed someone to save me. I kept on, never once looking down. Stop. The entire time, there were others calling out for help the moment they saw someone still moving. Stop. Help. I knew. Of course I knew. And I pushed through it anyway. I turned my back on those voices. I turned my back on those sounds of all those trying so frantically to escape. I turned my back on all those pleading not to die. I turned my back on those mothers begging me to take their children. I turned my back on those dying gazes of those too weak to ask for help. I kept pushing forward, alone, desperate for someone to save me. Wait. I couldn't stand seeing their bodies. I couldn't stand seeing people suffer and die. I was sure I couldn't save them. I was sure they'd die no matter what I did. So I kept pushing on. Stop. Give it back. That's why I never stopped. I thought I had to live, even if it was just for another second. If people died without being able to do anything, so long as I could make it, I thought I had to live. But I was destroyed in the process. I held back tears and pushed on. I sought escape, and each step was harder than the last as I ignored every plea for help. It would have been easier. It would have been easier to go on if I asked for forgiveness, so I never did. Maybe it was the only way I could own up to the truth, that I was actually helpless to do anything. It hurts. Just as I wished, I alone was saved. The only other children at the hospital were those who have been in areas near the fire. I didn't need to know, but the man in white coat told me anyway. In the depths of those flames, I alone survived. Please stop. I bore witness to such death and pain. I bore witness to endless sorrow. So many died that they had to hold mass funerals. I bore witness to such grief. There's so many different sentiments for the dead. I thought, just end it already. Hey threw me off. Hey! I thought I had to remember all of it. I had to. So many wanted help, but none of them got their wish. And since my wish was granted, it followed that I should take on the weight of their deaths. No, I had to. I couldn't go on if it didn't. No more. Return. That's why I desperately tried to follow in Kiritsugu's steps. For those I couldn't save, for all I couldn't do, I looked to a hero who could be a savior. Everything I once was fell away when I ignored those cries for help. I kept moving forward, void of all reason. No more. Please. And so, those I could not save passed on one last lesson. Go on. I was lost in all of that. All I thought about was going forward on behalf of the dead. I took all the memories I had before that, locked them away, never to think about them, never to think of them again. The kindness of neighbors, being with my parents. I sealed all of that up so I'd never think about it again, as if I were already dead. Don't open it up. I was no longer in pain. Kiritsugu and Mia adopted me, and I was finally happy. And that's why...
一度もなかったというのかね。
I'm telling you, don't open it. Agony and pain. Pure agony rips through my chest and drags me back to reality. The nausea simply doesn't end. My arms and legs are numb. My head burns. Can't breathe. Return. The voice continues echoing in my head. I vomit blood. Was that because I'm on the brink of death? Because my psyche can't endure the voice any longer? My chest hurts. My heart hurts. It hurts so much, but I can't contain it. The wound deep inside me is the source of the pain. It will continue to hurt as long as I have those memories. It will swell up and never heal. I'm seeing things. For a moment, I think I see her, but no, she shouldn't be here. Bite down on the pain. Begging for death is no longer an option. Even if she's just some dying dream, I can't let her see me like this. She has to think I'm okay.
深い傷だ。これでは癒されぬままでは苦しかろう。エミやシロ。お前はそのままで一生を終えるべきではない。
I can make out the words. I can make out the priest's voice. It didn't sound like him. It's too warm, too compassionate.
お前は聖杯などいらぬと言ったな。だがどうだ。仮に10年前の出来事をやり直せるとしたら、お前は聖杯を欲するのではないか。あの出来事で失われたもの、すべてを救うのだ。あの事故をなくし、エミやキリツグなどに関わらず、本来の自分に戻れる。それこそが、お前自身を救う唯一の方法ではないのかな。
My prediction is that Kotomine is not manipulating Shiro to fixing his mistake. Because I'm assuming his mistake was making this giant fuck you explosion that happened. Undo what happened 10 years ago? Remake the person I am now, who survived at the cost of everyone else that day? No, even beyond that. I can make everything as it never happened, and no one would be hurt. I shake my head. Fevered as I am, I'm completely unable to think. I still reject the idea of the images it raises. I curse this very weakness. Because it hurts. The voices echo in my head. My fingers desperately claw at the wet floor. Help me. Every single one of them cries out that they want to go back. And I want that too, even if my life was nowhere near as horrific as theirs. The voices he's hearing are the other kids. I thought it was like he's literally hearing it in his head. I thought it was his body screaming to live. After Kitsugo adopted me, I still returned to the empty field many times. I still returned, though there was nothing there. I opened a front door that no longer existed. I walked halls that had burned to ash years before, and I smiled at my departed mother. I wanted to go back before it all disappeared, and wait for the dawn to come to wake me from this nightmare. No such miracle happened. Instead, I was left with this painful reality. But if I could live in a world where that never happened, where nobody was hurt, surely I...
さあ、答えよ。お前が望むのならば、聖杯を与えよう。
The priest with the miraculous chalice makes his offer. Return. These voices will go away if I wish for it. Orphan children, if fate had taken even the slightest different turn, I would be here with them. I shouldn't even need to think about it. Shouldn't need to, so why? Cool, I didn't get a choice, because I was definitely going to say yes. I wanted to see what happens. I wanted to see what the bad end was. I face the corpses. As I refuse, I grit my teeth. My response is to deny them. Whatever the Holy Grail is, I'm not going to wish the dead to return or change the past.
やり直しなんかできない。死者は蘇らない。起きたことは戻せない。そんなおかしな望みなんて持ってない。
Tears sting my cheeks. I scream to the world that a miracle is impossible, and every time my own conclusion makes me cry. Why is the miracle of wanting ordinary happiness too much to ask for?
それを可能とするのが聖杯だ。万物すべて君の望むままとなる。
So he claims, but I can't agree. Even if I could change the past, I shouldn't. I can't. If I do, everything becomes a lie. Every tear, all that agony, the memory of what was, even that cold reality, wretched as it is in my heart. Everyone who died screaming in agony, everyone who risked their lives to help another, everyone who mourned the fallen. If I were to just make it as though none of that happened, where would all of that go? What would I be doing to them? The dead wouldn't return. Reality can't be overturned. To continue onward, bearing the weight of all of that pain, isn't that the very mark of that proves something was there once? Everyone dies eventually, and sorrow fills the void they leave behind. But pain is the only thing left behind. It's the suffering that makes the goodness shine all the brighter. Those deaths, they shaped me. My memories of Kiritsugu protect me, and those memories form the path that eventually intertwines with others. Even though all of that will eventually be forgotten.
その道が今までの自分が。
そうか。つまり
聖杯なんていらない。俺は置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることなんてできない。
I speak firmly, even from the depths of this torment, willing myself to hold on to the consciousness, though I force myself to remain upright. This is oddly similar to Maruki's world idea when you try to use the Holy Grail to change things. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, it is almost exactly like that. And it's then that I realize I can't hear the voices. They're not echoing in my head anymore. I wondered what they thought of my answer. Though, whatever they may have thought, I think it's sad that they seem to accept it without any resentment. That is, the answer her master arrived at. Her anger dissolves. All she can do is stare at her master, her words dying on her lips.
その道が今までの自分が間違ってなかったって信じている。
Despite his maimed body, as he struggles to even breathe, as he sheds the tears of one so horribly grieved,
置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることなんてできない。
apologizing to those he must climb over, but unwavering in his chosen path. Her vision wavers. Her breath quivers. She knows his history. Just as he saw visions of her past, so she saw his. She was certain he would agree. No, she thought he had to. She'd meant to say, "It's not your fault," but the words died on her lips. If only he could hear it. She wanted to tell him he would not have to carry that weight. But he denies even that. No matter how tragic the past, one cannot undo it. Her legs nearly give out beneath her. His words are a greater weight than even she can bear. They swore an oath of single-mindedly devote everything to carrying it out. She believed they were similar. How conceited. That was her great mistake. They were nothing alike. His resolve was so strong, and she, who could not even believe his words, was weak.
自らの救いではなく、自らの願いを取ったか。
The priest releases the boy. He steps over the youth with a sneer as if he's lost interest.
ではお前はどうだ、セイバー。小僧は聖杯などいらぬという。だがお前は違うのではないか。お前の目的は聖杯による世界の救済だ。よもや英霊であるお前まで小僧のようにエゴはかざすまい。
He feels her sense of reason is being imperiled. I've never heard that word used in that way either. The priest says he will give her the grail. He will give her what she desires, her wish granted.
それは
She has no reason to refuse. That is the miracle she's been fighting for. It is the very reason she became a servant. What Shido said had no bearing of her own concerns. To obtain the Holy Grail, she, Saber, the hero of the sword,
では交換条件だ。セイバー。斧が目的のため、その手で自らのマスターを殺せ。その暁には聖杯を与えよう。
I decided I would do anything for it. His words blindside her. She doesn't even know what to think. The priest's words, while easy to understand, are anathema to her, to everything she believes in and stands for. Yeah, there's no way she's doing that. That is like kill an innocent person so that you can gain your wish is the exact opposite of what Saber is.
どうした？迷うことはあるまい。今の小僧ならば、死んだということにも気がつかないうちに殺せるぞ。第一、もはや助からない命だ。ここでお前が引導を渡してやるのも情けではないかな。
The priest steps aside. Before her stands a door leading to the crypt and to her master. She steps into the damp room past the priest. She can't help herself. It's as if she stepped into the depths of hell. He was made to suffer in this place, to witness his own darkness, but he refused the salvation he was offered. She grips her sword. He lays at her feet, breathing raggedly. It would be the end of a long, long journey. The Holy Grail she desires in exchange for her life. All she must do is swing her sword, but one final time. A master and servant are united only until they obtain the Holy Grail. She could end it right here.
どうした？何をためらう？聖杯と引き換えなのだぞ。交換条件としては破格だと思うのだが。
The priest's words ring true. For her to hesitate now would be the height of hypocrisy. Even still.
その道が、今までの自分が間違ってなかったって信じている。
His words refuse to leave her mind.
私は
Though it disgusts her, she knows she's nothing like Shido. She wants to upend everything. That day, so long ago, there must have been someone who would have drawn the sword from the stone and been a better king. There must have been someone who could have built a true utopia. The heart that loved her nation so dearly, and the young woman's doubt when she took the sword. On that day, she tried to fully and forever abandon her heart the day she drew the sword. How did she not realize this before?
置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることは。
To her, that is the girl who loved her country, the girl named Altria, before she was crowned. That was not a kingly heart. A king could only believe in themselves. To deny that would be to deny everything she gave up. What is lost cannot be returned. Her master insisted on this even as he suffered. His pained expression alone makes her heart ache. What was it she had said? She could not start over. It was her duty as king, so she refused over and over. What duty? To resurrect her lost nation? To select a more capable king? Or is it to wish for all of the death and destruction to have never happened to begin with?
それは違う。
That was a mistake. She was raised to be a king. That is how she lived. In that, there was no flaw. But if that led to ruination, why could she not accept it? She had no regrets. She could take pride in the way that she lived her life. Wishing for another chance was a pointless waste.
そういうことなのですね、シロ。
And so his anguished cries finally reach her heart. All the tears, all the pain, even her broken heart. Salvation could come from destroying all of it. But if it was undone, what would happen to everything swept aside in the undoing? I have stolen much from many, even their very lives. All that pain and regret is mine to bear. It belongs to me. If I were to wish for a chance at something, it should be for a miracle in the here and the now, not to upend the past. Each of the countless paths not taken before cannot be taken by sacrificing this one. Instead, I should forge ahead and work to fulfill what hopes have yet to come true even to this day. If she's is nationless and uncrowned now, perhaps her wishes should be for herself. No, she cannot make a wish like that either. She chose to take up the crown. She never suffered for that decision, not once. Even if no one ever understood or accepted her, that choice itself was her pride and joy. At the very least, she truly believed that when she drew the sword from the stone, that is her answer. Just as she found something to stand by, so too has she. Just as he found something to stand by, so too is she. She pledged once so long ago, something she swore to herself. She would fight, even if she loses everything, even if everyone in the world hates her.
私が愚かだった。
An oath from a king, a promise to fight against all odds. And so the king protected her country, but the country did not protect the king. And so it was. The ending may have been tragic, but if she is no longer ashamed of the path that led here,
求める必要などなかった。
she fulfilled her duty as king. It led to ruin, but she saw everything through to the end. There need be nothing else. Of course, I did not want everything. The only thing I ever wanted from the very start. I did until the very end, even if it meant losing so much along the way. I will keep this unobtainable dream deep within my heart, and it may now end.
聖杯は欲しい。けれど、シロは殺せない。
She turned her sword on her enemy.
なんだと。
わからぬかゲロウ。そのようなものより、私はシロが欲しいと言ったのだ。
And that is why my rule is set. I will be his sword. I will shield him from danger. All hesitation leaves her.
聖杯はいらぬというのか、セイバー。
聖杯が私を汚すものならばいらない。私が欲しかったものは、もうすべて揃っていたのだから。
Yes, she has everything she needs with her now. Her pride as a knight, her promise as a king. Even the precious dream that young girl once had. Those words I do hear. The girl who professed that her only goal was claiming the Holy Grail. Now she says she has no need for such a thing. I call out to her as loudly as I can between the ragged breaths. My vision still hasn't cleared, but I can make out her presence. Hello, Mashkin. The pain is fading. my wound, which wouldn't close, begins to heal. Is it because she's close?
立てますか、シロ。動けるのなら私の手に触れてください。
I take her hand. Whoa. My vision returns. My head, so fuzzy from blood loss, rapidly regains focus.
セイバー、これは。
はい。いかにゲイボルクの呪いといえど、今のシロには通じません。私のそばにいてくれれば、じき感知するでしょう。それより、今は。
Saber turns her gaze back to the underground sanctuary. Beyond the door, the last master, Kirie Kotomine, stands at the threshold to the room. Beyond him is Lancer.
そうか。
He looks at us strangely, as if seeing us for the first time.
お前たちはつまらない。
The disappointment in his voice is palpable.
これではやはり聖杯は私が預かるしかないな。だがそうなると少々手荒い話になる。私の望みを叶えるのであれば聖杯は完全でなければならない。エミやシロ、悪いがお前たちにはここで死んでもらわなくてはならなくなった。
I try my best to brace myself, but my body still won't listen. Even with Saber's hand in mine, it's all I can do is just stand. I can't possibly fight, so I'll only be a burden to Saber.
その心配は無用です、シロ。あなたはここにいてください。あのマスターとランサーは私一人で十分です。
ほう、それは大きく出たな。これは逃げた方が賢明かな、ランサー。
Lancer is silent. Of course, Kotomine doesn't actually sound at all worried. He's just making a show of it.
コトミネと言いましたね。倒す前に聞いておきましょう。あなたの目的は何なのです。聖杯の選定役である身で何を望むというのですか。
さて、言ってしまえば娯楽のためだが、
Bro, what?
それほど急を要しているわけではなくてね。実を言うとな、セイバー。私も聖杯にはそう関心はないのだ。ただあれは私の趣味に合っている。
This bitch is crazy.
私以外にふさわしい
This
持
nigga's
ち主
crazy.
がいないのであれば、もらい受けてやるのが世のためだろう。
ざれ言を。マスターを殺し、自らマスターになった男が何を。貴様は初めから聖杯を手にするつもりだったはずだ。
なに、ただの拾い物だよ。ランサーのマスターを始末したのは外からの魔術師は何かと厄介だったからだ。聖杯がああいうものなのだと外部には知られたくないのでね。早めに退場してもらったのだが、せっかくのサーバントを消してしまうのもうまくない。円滑に殺し合いを進めさせる手駒が入りようだったこともあり、少しばかりランサーのマスター権を拝借しただけだが。
Oh, Kotomine became a master by killing Lancers? Yes, he didn't know that.
そうか。貴様が何者であるかはもう聞かない。だが、選定役として責務を果たしてもらうぞ。今回の器、魂の杯はどこにある？
何？まさか知らずにかくまっていたというのか？
Huh? He actually gasps. The brief moment of surprise passes quickly. With a smirk, he snaps his finger to introduce the final piece of the puzzle. Both Saber and Lancer tense. Heavy footsteps echo from above.
さて、お前たちには不要だろうが、紹介ぐらいはしておこう。彼はアーチャーのサーバット。前回の聖杯戦争で私のパートナーだった英霊だよ。
Shock. Oh, wow. It's almost like we totally saw that coming. Wow. Oh my god. Chat, raise your hand if you were shocked by this surprising development. Press 1 if you were shocked. Oh, wow. The golden figure makes his appearance. Gilgamesh, King of Heroes. The atmosphere shifts. Magic King, you can't press 1. You weren't here. I guess that makes sense that you were surprised, but like, you don't know who this is. The atmosphere shifts. After making his sudden appearance, Gilgamesh crosses the sanctuary grounds to stand beside Kotomine.
で、これからどうするのだ、Kotomine。このような場所で、しかも邪魔者を交えて決着をつけるのか。お前にしてはあまりいい演出とは言えないが。
それを言うな。私とて予想外なのだ。文句は後で聞いてやるから許せ。
なんだ、承知しているのならばいい。だが、そのヤヒな男はどうにかならんのか。あまり睨まれると殺してしまいそうになるぞ。
どういうことだ、Kotomine。その男がお前のサーバントだと？
なあ、お前には説明していなかったな。彼は前回の私のサーバントだ。聖杯戦争が終結した後、意見を同じくしてな。彼は私に従い、私も彼がとどまるにふさわしい食事を用意することで、こうして協力関係になったというわけだ。
それがあのいけすかねえ部屋ってわけか。そりゃいいが、なぜ俺に黙っていた？
言う必要があるとでも、それとも何か彼と共同戦線を張りたかったのか、お前は。
冗談。そんな野郎と手を組むなんざ死んでもお断りだ。
And now there are 3 of them. Lancer by the stairs, Gilgamesh in the center of the sanctuary. We can't beat them all. Gilgamesh is too much for us on his own, but we can't escape with Lancer around either.
Kotomine, お前、奴のことは知らないって。
Yeah, he lied, dumbass.
人聞きが悪いな。私はこれでも神父だぞ。虚言など口にできぬよ。
そんなことあるか。お前は確かに前回から残ったサーバントは放っておけないって。
ああ、私とて驚いたのだ。アーチャーには待機を命じていたというのに、指示を破ってお前たちを襲ったのだからな。アーチャーを調べれば、いずれ私に突き当たるのは道理だ。故に、今後の対策を練らねばならなかった。どうだ、何一つとしてお前を測ってはいまい。
God damn it. I blundered right into the enemy's stronghold because I trusted his word, which you shouldn't have done. He's the most untrustworthy person from before. Even your narration was like, I don't trust this bitch.
アーチャーのマスターだというのか。
そうだ。10年前の再現になったな、セイバー。もっとも、あの時私はすでにキリツグに倒され、最後の場面には立ち会えなかった。お前と顔を合わせるのはこれが2度目で、そして最後になる。
答えろ。アーチャーはなぜ残っている？あの火事はなぜ起きた？キリツグに倒されたというお前はなぜ今も生きている？
Saber's voice drips with venom. These questions must have been weighing on her for a while now. She must also want to clarify about what happened. She must also want to clarify what she left behind 10 years ago and the disaster that followed.
そのようなこと、言うまでもなかろう。10年前、不完全ながらも聖杯は満ち、手に取ることが可能だった。私はそれに触れただけだ。キリツグとお前は強力だったのでな。分断させるための目くらましが欲しいと願ったのだが、あのような目くらましが起きるとは私も驚いた。
Wait, that means...
では、 あの火災は貴様が聖杯の力で起こし
Yeah,
た
I
もの
know
だ
it.
というのか。
He wanted to abuse us so we would get the thing.
思うのだが、私でなくても聖杯は同じことをしただろう。あれはそういうものだ。万能の杯というが、その中に満ちたものは血と闇と呪いでしかない。お前も見たのだろう。聖杯を破壊した折、そこから溢れ出した闇を。アーチャーはそれを浴びてしまっただけだ。お前が聖杯さえ壊さなければ、アーチャーとてこのように迷いはしなかっただろうよ。
よまいごとを。聖杯は持ち主の願いを叶える魔法の鎌だ。ならば、あの火災はお前の願望ではなかったのか。
結果だけはな。だがその過程は私が想像していたものとは違う。私はただあの土地から人がいなくなればいいと思っただけだ。そもそもお前たちは想像力が貧困だぞ。願いが叶う、それはいいが、では願いとはどうやって叶えるのだ。まさか願った瞬間に世界が変わるとでも思っていたのではあるまいな。元の聖杯はどうあれ、今の聖杯は力の渦に過ぎぬ。精密な計算、相互作用による矛盾の修正など論外だ。あれはな、ただ純粋な力に過ぎぬ。巨大な兵器と同じだ。持ち主が富を願えば周囲の人間をことごとく殺害し、主人に幸福を与える。わかるか。あの底なしの魔力の釜はな、持ち主の願いを破壊という手段でしか叶えられぬ欠陥品なのだ。
それでは話が違う。万能の力、持ち主の望み通りに世界を変革するのが聖杯ではなかったのか。
違うものか。聖杯の手段は実に理にかなっている。人を生かすということは人を殺すということだろう。この世は全て等価交換によって成り立っている。その中で突出した出来事を望むのならば、何かを食いつぶして飛び上がるしかあるまい。
This motherfucker is an insane asshole. Basically, what he was trying to get us to do, and this is what he means by entertainment, is that he wanted us to use the Holy Grail to fix the incident that happened 10 years ago that he fucking caused, to save all those people, thereby destroying a whole bunch of other shit in the process. That is insane. Son of a bitch.
調和など気にしていては願いなど叶わぬ。つまりは弱者からの略奪による変動だ。それこそが最も効率の良い変革だろう。
I can only imagine what Saber must feel. If what Kotomine said is true, then this is not the grail she wanted. It is merely power to fuel the possessor's wish. It grants its owner's wish at the cost of everything else, so it has the true face of the supposedly omnipotent power.
ならば聖杯というのは、
持ち主以外のものを排除するこの上ない毒の壺だ。お前も見ればわかる。あれはな、際限のない呪いの塊だ。そしてそれは私にとっても喜ばしい。聖杯に触れるのは聖職者の夢だがね。人を殺すためだけの聖杯が存在し、ましてそれを扱えるなど、まさに天上の夢でも見ているかのようだ。
This nigga's crazy. The priest laughs. This time it's not for show. He laughs in pure delight. Makes me realize this is a man entirely without humanity. More than anyone else, he absolutely cannot get the grail.
ではお別れだ。ゴミを始末しろ。ランサーは小僧、アーチャーはセイバーだ。
The priest turns on his heel and ascends the stairs. All that remains are me, who can barely move from my injuries, and Kotomine's 2 servants, and Saber standing ready to guard me, glaring at our enemies. A tense moment passes. We need to beat Gilgamesh and Lancer if we're going to have any hope of getting back to the surface. But I don't care about defeating them. If we could regroup somehow, maybe, but... Saber's voice is quiet, but her eyes never leave the enemy. She grips my hand firmly in her own. I can tell she's ready to go at any moment.
わかった。意地でもついていくから、俺のことは気にかけるなよ。
I nod back. I can barely walk. We both understand just how bad this is. But Saber's telling me But Saber's telling me she will do everything so she can get me through this. What can I do but agree? Just write down the timestamp for this crazy shit, cause what the fuck? Don't y'all hate it when your pen starts running out of ink, but you know damn well it has more ink in there? It's just not working. Her voice is quiet but firm. At that moment, she lets go of my hand to charge ahead. Both shadows reacted to her in an instant. Saber and I are struck dumb. What just happened? Lancer jerks his spear off course away from me and straight for Gilgamesh, who bats the attack aside with the longsword as if he'd expected it.
悪いな、手元が狂った。
そうか。随分と軽い槍なのだな、貴様のそれは。
Both men withdraw, unhurried and unconcerned.
言っておくが、貴様の標的はあの雑種だ。セイバーは俺に任されたものだと覚えているか？
ああ、それね。悪いが気が変わった。霊樹で命令されたわけじゃねえしな。俺は降ろさせてもらうぜ。
As he says this, Lancer turns to face Gilgamesh almost as if protecting us.
ランサー、あなたは？
くだらねえことなら口にするなよ。別に貴様に肩入れしているわけじゃねえ。俺の心情に肩入れしてるだけなんだからよ。
I was gonna say, Kukulane would not do this. Kukulane may be an asshole in this, but he's still a hero. So like this doesn't make any sense. But here it is. Yeah. Figured. Makes sense. Based, actually. Lancer levels his spear at Gilgamesh. His intent is clear. He actually does mean to let us go.
いい加減我慢の限界でもあったしな。ここまで舐められて、おいそれと命令を聞くほどよくできた人間じゃねえってことだ。奴と。
ほう。では契約を切るということか。聖杯は目の前だというのに、貴様はこのまま消えても構わないのか。
To be fair, he just mentioned that he didn't care about having the Holy Grail. He just wanted to fight. And that man over there is in fact the fight.
てめえと一緒にするな。元よりな、俺は二度目の聖なんぞに興味はない。いや、英雄なんて連中はな、どいつもこいつもそんなものに興味はねえんだよ。
I guess if you take the mentality of a warrior, their thought is to always die in battle. So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
俺たちはこのように固執してるんじゃない。果たせなかった未練に固執するのみだ。
I mean, that is also true, because that's what Saber was trying to do the whole entire time, was fulfill a promise that she felt she didn't fulfill.
まあ、てめえみてえに欲の皮が突っ張った怨霊にはわからないだろうがな。
あ。
なるほど。死に際が鮮やかだった男は言うことが違う。この裏切りも英雄の誇りとやらに沿ったものか。まっ ったく己が信念を貫くのは厳しいな、ランサー。
The air behind Gilgamesh warps. Weapons appear out of nowhere in the space behind him.
ランサー、あれはあらゆる宝具の原型を持つもの。我らの中で最も古い歴史を持つ英雄王です。いくらあなたでも1対1では。
そうかよ。なるほど。道理で偉そうなわけだ。やりたい放題やって国を滅ぼしたって野郎だからな。そりゃ少年が腐ってる。
Isn't the oldest No, I guess the story of Gilgamesh and any kind of Egyptian stuff was recorded around the same time.
ランサー、強がりを言っている場合では。
いいからさっさと失せろ。助言なんざしやがって何様のつもりだ。かばった程度で仲間意識持ちやがって。たく、これだから育ちのいい騎士様ってのは気に食わね
In his own way, Lancier is urging Saber to run. Saber hangs her head for a moment.
ご分をこの恩は必ず。
Taking my hand, she makes up for the stairs. She makes for the stairs.
しまった。逃がしてしまったか。
She did that just for... He let him go just for shits and giggles. Gilgamesh just watches us, making no move to follow.
なんだ、セーバーはてめえの獲物じゃなかったのかよ。
いや、実はな、俺もこのような決着は好みではなかったのだ。貴様がやらなければ俺が同じことをしていただろう。
We make it up the stairs. Saber must still be worried about how I'm doing, as we don't move very fast. The pain, on the other hand, doesn't much care how slowly we're moving, as it doesn't dull in the slightest. The rising tension from and sense of impending violence grows.
どういうことだそりゃ。てめえもセーバーを逃がすつもりだったのか。
He wanted to chase her down.
当然だろう。俺にセイバーを殺す気はない。あれは俺のものだ。だが聖杯を呼ぶためにはそういうわけにもいかん。儀式の完成にはあと一人サーバントに死んでもらわなければならぬからな。
A multitude of swords appears in the darkened basement. The Golden Knight smirks. This is why he was ready for Lancer's surprise attack. Lancer wasn't the only one planning to turn on his would-be ally.
初めからそのつもりかよ、てめえ。
言ったであろう。貴様がしなければ俺がそうするつもりだった。褒めてやるぞ、空風林。これは俺にとって理想の展開だ。
The two come together. We make it out just before I see the initial volley. I stop. I make it out of the church, but my body tells me it's reached its limit.
シロ、ここで休みましょう。これ以上はあなたの体が持たない。
そうだな。悔しいけど、これじゃセイバーに迷惑をかける一方だ。
Can you not just carry him? I lean away from Saber's shoulders and sit on the grass. My chest wound is still there. It stopped bleeding, but there's still a gaping hole in my chest. The pain might be gone, but I still got a hole right through me. Just looking at it makes me sick to my stomach. More than that, I can't believe I'm still alive.
シロ、傷を見せてください。
いや、いいけど。
では失礼します。少し痛みますが、耐えてください。
Saber's fingers trail over my chest. And then, I don't know what she's thinking, but Saber places her hand on my chest and lets it sink into my body. My entire body jerks and bucks in response. Saber's hand is relentless, moving around inside me. She's touching my organs with her bare hands. How can that not be blindingly painful? It should hurt, but there's absolutely no pain. In fact, everywhere Saber touches feels like the pain is fading.
終わりました、シロ。鞘に魔力を補充しましたから、半日もすれば傷は癒えるでしょう。
She draws her hand from my chest, looking relieved.
Saya?
I have no idea what she's talking about. I guess she didn't explain that. She never got the chance to explain that because we were dead, and then she woke up, and then we didn't have sex, and then we left.
Saber, Saya ってなんだ？前もそんなことを言ってた気がするけど、もしかしてそのSayaってお前のSayaのことか？
Avalon. Saber's sheath. It has to be Excalibur's sheath. Invisible air is in her sheath. The legendary sheath of Excalibur is a noble phantasm that makes its possessor immortal. But she doesn't have it. King Arthur died in the Battle of Camelon because that sheath was lost. So there's no way the Saber has Excalibur's sheath right now.
はい。私の鞘はあなたの体の中にあります。それを確信したのが昨夜というのは私の落ち度でしたが。
俺の体の中に？バカな。そんな突拍子もない話が。
そうでしょうか。思えば簡単なことだったのです。シロは私を召喚した。今までそれを偶然だと考えたことが愚かでした。英霊を呼ぶには英霊にゆかりがあるシンボルがなければならない。マスターとしての知識もなく、魔術師としても未熟だったシロが私を呼ぶ。
Okay, but how did it get there? How is it inside of our body?
がなければならない。それが私の鞘。失われたエクスカリバーの鞘だったのです。
いや、それはそうかもしれないけど。だから、なんだってそんなものが俺の中にあるんだ。
それは、おそらくキリツグが行ったことでしょう。前回の戦いで、エミやキリツグは、エクスカリバーの鞘を触媒にして私を召喚した。聖剣の鞘は持ち主の傷を癒す宝具です。キリツグはそれを私に返すより、自身が持っていた方が有利と判断したのでしょう。私には治癒能力があるし、死ににくい。それより死にやすいマスターが鞘を持つ方が、戦いには勝ち残れる。
Yes, that makes sense.
じゃあ親父も今の俺と同じような状態で戦いを勝ち残ったってわけか。
おそらくは。そして戦いが終わり、私が消えた後、キリツグは焼け跡の中をさまよい、死にかけている子供を見つけた。キリツグには治療の力はありませんでしたし、あったところで手の施しようがなかったのでしょう。だからその子供を助ける手段は彼には一つしかなかったと思うのです。
My hand goes to my chest. On that day 10 years ago, I accepted death as I was looking up into the sky. My whole body was burned. Maybe I was little more than cinders. So when Kiritsugu found that kid, barely alive, he had to rely on the one thing he had with him, a sacred sword sheath said to protect the possessor's life. By implanting the sheath in me, he saved the child who was on the verge of death.
じゃあ、本当に？
はい。分解され、原型をとどめてはいませんが、確かにシローの中には鞘があります。それがあなたの治癒能力の源です。
けど、俺一度死にかけたぞ。学校でランサーに刺されて、それで。
That's right. Someone saved me that. By the time I came to, there was nobody there, just a piece of rock lying next to me. I thought that was really important, so I brought it home. I wonder if it's still there.
それは私と契約する前の話でしょう。サヤは私の宝具です。私が限界し、魔力を注がなければ宝具としての能力を発揮しない。シロは私とユーサーバントと契約しなければ、その不死身性を得られないのです。
Slight contradiction. I'm saying slight because they could probably very easily fix that by placing when Saber disappears on the timeline, because that's unclear. But if the Holy Grail War was over, signified by the fucking fire, no, I guess that kind of makes sense. So if Kiritsugu just gave up the sheath before they went to destroy the Holy Grail, and then her destroying the Holy Grail signified the end of the Holy Grail War, then that's fine. I don't know how long it would have taken Shido to heal from basically being burned alive, but it is what it is.
まあ多少は魔力さえ注げば持ち主の命を保護するでしょう。ですが、それも微弱なものです。死にかけた人間を救うには、
Okay, you can explain it that way too.
サヤそのものと同化させるしかなかったはずです。
そうか。すまん、セイバー。お前の鞘をこんなことで使っちまって。
何を言うのです。シローは私のマスターなのですから、私のものを使うのは当然ではないですか。それにシローがそうなのだと知って私は嬉しかった。何も守れなかった私でもあなたの命を救えていたのですから。
Cute. Her smile is so bright, I can't help but look away.
シロー、傷が痛むのですか。
いや、そうじゃない。いいんだ、気にしないでくれ。セイバーは何も悪くない。
I cover my blushing face and fall silent. This is so embarrassing. Not speaking means no pain, but this is really awkward. I'm gonna call him a telemarketer. I'm not sure how much time passed. Just as I start to calm down, Saber speaks quietly.
キリツグは正しかった。彼は私を裏切ってなどいなかったのですね。
Her voice is heavy with regret. I guess that's true too. He figured out the thing. Yeah, she'll explain it.
あの聖杯は私の求めるものではなかった。いいえ、元より聖杯など必要ではなかったのです。キリツグはそれに気がついていたのでしょう。
Sounds more like a confession. Saber's making an apology to someone she can't apologize to, not anymore. She reflects on herself as a way of saying goodbye to the feeling she held for so long, even if she doesn't say it in so many words. I understand just by being beside her. Altria sought the Holy Grail, a lonely king who had no choice but to believe that without the Holy Grail she could not avoid ruin. If only she'd wish to redo everything from the moment she drew the sword from the stone.
セイバー、それは
分かっていました。やり直しなんてできないのだと。私はそれを知りながら必死に自身を偽り続けてきたのです。
But that ends here. Our long battle can now really...
ありがとう、シロ。あなたのおかげでようやく取るべき道が分かりました。ええ、あの聖杯もこの私もあり得てはいけない夢だったのです。
But still, she mumbles about wanting to be forgiven. She should not have ever wished for what she did, and in all that time she'd never been able to fulfill it. The weakness was only a fleeting dream. How should I feel right now? What she says is beautiful. Her decision is dignified and proud, just like her. She takes pride in her past now and accepts the end that awaits her. Now Saber has... She has decided to follow the promise she made until the very end. She doesn't even need to tell me what that means. She will never waver again. And she is more beautiful than ever. In the dark of the night, in the moment I met under the moonlight and admired her appearance, I loved her from the very beginning. Then, Regardless of what awaits ahead, there's only one thing to be done.
Saber. 聖杯を壊そう。
I don't know if that would fix anything. Shouldn't you use the Holy Grail to wish for the Holy Grail Wars to stop entirely? That the Holy Grail can no longer be used? Shouldn't you use the stones to destroy the stones? I cut away any lingering attachment. I banish all my selfishness and say what has to be done.
はい。あなたならそう決断すると信じていました。マスター。
Saber nods reassuringly. Can't smile back at her right now. I'm trying my best to suppress my feelings for her and convince myself that this is the right thing to do. I'm sure that someday I'll be proud that she trusted me with this decision. I stand up. Now that's settled, we can't just rest here forever. We know what must be done and our enemy is clear. No more detours. Today we put an end to this battle. Okay, for the sake of keeping things organized, the recording is going to stop here. However, the stream is not going to stop, and therefore there will be a second recording, which works perfectly now that I think about it. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, you better hit that like button. You better subscribe. And for people watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a 3-minute break because I have to use the bathroom again. But yeah, I will be right back. Hit the like button, subscribe, and you will see the next part whenever you see it.